Okay. Now that I don't have Facebook open, I guess I don't know. Are we live? If we're there, just let me know. Hello. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we are. They've changed it again since last time. So welcome to Redefining Entrepreneurship. Happy Monday. Our live and in-person episode. You may notice that we're not in a room together, and we both have our same normal background. So, surprise, there's no surprise.
It's actually a great lead-in to what we're going to talk about today. Definitely part of it is disconnecting from the outcomes of things and learning to flow with them a little bit better and make the best of circumstances that come your way. So we had some airline and flight issues that are preventing us from being in the same room. But, what are you going to do? You make the best of it. We're still going to come to you live today, just not in the same room. And we'll come live another time with our first meeting. And we'll make it all the more exciting at that point.
Yeah. And honestly, that one will probably come from Bali. So that will be pretty freaking exciting.
It will be pretty freaking exciting. So I'm very excited.
It will be. Who knows? We might meet in person before we get to Bali. We still have a few months.
We may.
But yes, unfortunately, things just don't always go as planned. And, just kind of like bringing that back around to, like you said, like it absolutely does relate to our topic today, which is why no matter how much money, how much you make, how much you work, you still just don't have that money, that freedom, that flexibility, that life that you desire, that you pictured for yourself when you were starting out. And I think that this is a really important topic to talk about, because this is not necessarily for those of you that are brand new. Like if you're watching, great. You're brand new in this, but this is for a lot of you that have actually been in business for a while, and why maybe you feel like you're kind of at a plateau, or you're just not as far along as you want. Things aren't going the way you expected. So just really wanted to like dig into that, like why is that happening in your world, and kind of maybe some real and raw reasons as to why this is happening for you, and some maybe next steps that you can take in order to move yourself into a different space, to where things just maybe feel a little bit easier and more aligned.
Uh-huh. Oh. So I see this happening, and I know, Laura, you see this happening for a lot of folks that we work with. It's just like, but I've made money. I know on the outside it looks like I'm successful. I have had success. I have grown my business. I'm multi 6 figures. I'm 7 figures. Like I've accomplished a lot, which when you're in this stage can be hard to remember and celebrate that fact. But it's like, but I've had this success, but I still don't feel like I have the freedom. I have the life that I want. It doesn't feel easy. It doesn't feel like this idea of this work-life flow and all the things that I want to accomplish. Like I know I've accomplished a lot, but why don't I feel fulfilled? Like, why don't I feel like I have what it is that I set out to have? And there's multiple reasons. First, I want you all to sit in some gratitude. The first thing to do is actually reflect on what you have accomplished. You've accomplished a lot.
Yeah, but I'm going to interject there. Can I interject?
Sure.
Because I think yes, gratitude, just sit and reflect. I agree. I completely agree. But I also feel like that those of you who are just like, but I'm not there yet, are probably saying, fuck you.
Well, yeah, I wasn't done yet.
Yeah, I would just be grateful.
No, I wasn't done yet. That was just it is hard sometimes when you're not there yet and you're like, yeah, fuck you. But it is hard to remember sometimes what we have accomplished. So yeah, I wasn't done yet. No, I would be telling myself fuck you if that's where I started. But But it is, and I know sometimes even for me too, it's you get stuck in this, but I still don't have what it is that I'm setting out to accomplish. And you forget to remember everything that you have. But no, you don't want to stop there because you haven't gotten what you wanted to accomplish. But why haven't you gotten it? It's kind of like this eluding thing of I have all these things and I've done all of these things, but why haven't I gotten what I wanted? Like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing? You start to question yourself. You start to question a lot of things. And there's several different factors that we have found that are fairly common with those of you that are experiencing this currently. And the first one is there's still an element of you're still trying to control everything. Now, before you guys like freak out on me and you're like, but I have a team and I delegate and I don't try to control everything. Hold on. We need to do a little bit of self-reflection. There are ways that we try to still hold on to things and control things that we may not actually fully realize.
Yeah, and it doesn't actually have to be anything to do with your team or like the things that you're physically doing. And I think that's the difference. Is like, I'm sorry if I'm interrupting, but like, I think it's just important because a lot of people are just kind of like, yeah, well, I have a team. I'm delegating. We got a little buddy here to join us today. But it's like, I'm trying to control everything. I want it to go, but it's more like I want it to go a perfect way. It's like, my cat is fucking hungry and that is like going to disrupt things. And then people are going to think I'm unprofessional and then they're not going to buy something from me. But, you could obsess over that, or you could be like, look at this fucking cute ass cat that I have right here and how lucky I am that I get this. And you know what? If someone doesn't like that you have a cat there and your life isn't perfect, they're not your fucking person. So like, I think it's beyond just like trying to control what it is that you're doing and how everything is going, but it's like, you can't, and all of these are a little bit connected because I want to say it's like that knowing of how to disconnect from the outcomes and disconnecting from the like what's going to happen or what are people going to think, or you're so obsessed with how things are going to go that you do try to control everything. You try to control your outcomes, and it's like, oh, but if I just do this and this and this, and then that's going to happen. But you're so obsessed with your outcomes and getting there that going back to the gratitude thing now, like you are literally forgetting everything that you have accomplished, all of the good things. You're not being okay with where you are and recognizing that progress that you're made. So trying to control your outcomes, trying to control how things go for you is not going to work. Like, it's just, you're obsessing over it. And I'm going to use an example here, a very real example that has nothing to do with business per se, but obviously, yes, I didn't get to take my trip this week that I was planning to take with my girlfriend, right? Like, we had planned this wonderful getaway trip. I was going to meet you in person and, we were going to eat all this food. We were going to go paddleboarding. We were going to do all these things, right? And we had this wonderful little trip planned. And when that popped up on the screen last night saying canceled, like my heart sunk a little bit, but at the same time, I was like, okay, am I going to let that like ruin things? Or I'm going to be like, okay, I'm here with one of my best friends. We literally realized that it's almost to the date that we've known each other, 20 years. Like, we're celebrating 20 years of friendship on this trip together. Does it really matter where we are? No, it really doesn't. Because we started scrambling, like, where should we go instead? And they're like, well, you can't literally fly anywhere out of this airport for the next 2 days. Like, literally not one flight can you get on and actually like go somewhere that you want to go. So we could have sat and obsessed and got mad about that and like argued, but I just realized like, it's not worth it. I have what I want. And that's the part of like control that I think so many, it's like you keep trying to control, like, but if I just get that, if I just make this certain amount of money, then I'll be able to work less. Then I'll be able to do this. Then I'll be able to do that. If I just get here, and you just are trying to control instead of realizing I'm already there. Like, I already actually have what I want. So the example here, like, all I wanted was a trip with my girlfriend. Yeah. Did I want to meet Mara in person? Absolutely. But when it comes down to it, we were still able to do this virtually, right? I still have this 5 days with my friend. And instead of being pissed off that I'm not there, that I'm not where I wanted to be or expected to be this week, just like you could be pissed off that you're not making, $1 million and you're just making 200,000, right? You could be pissed off about that, or you could be like, I'm making $200,000. I'm working for myself. I control my schedule. Even if I'm working more than I want, really, I could take tomorrow off if I wanted to. I could cancel everything because I control that, and like recognize what you actually have. So sorry, that was a little bit of a rant, but I think an important one to recognize that the more you try to get there, the more you're trying to do, a lot of times, the more you're trying to control those outcomes, the more you're putting what you want actually away from you. So.
But I will put a plug in there too, because this is a whole nother topic. But when you're saying like, but I mean, I could take tomorrow off if I wanted to, or a lot of people in this space are, but I don't feel like I can. Part of that comes into the trying to control everything. Are you really doing what you need to do? Are you doing what you think you need to do? And or do you have the right structure in place to feel like then you are in control and that you can just take the next day off? So there's a couple factors there. It leads into what we've already talked about, but it's really assessing where are you spending your time? What are you doing? Have you let go of the things that you don't need to be spending your time on? Plus, have you let go of the things that really in the scheme of things aren't important? Again, letting go of the outcomes or the perfection or those things. Like, what is truly a priority? Mm-hmm. And then do you then, once you've learned to let go of those and decided on the right priorities, then do you have the right structure in place to actually put it in place and then flex? If you wanted to take the day off tomorrow, you could. If you wanted to go away on a 3-week vacation, do you feel like you have the freedom to do that? So there's a couple things in play on that. There's a structure piece, but then there's this mental, like making sure you know the priority of where you need to spend your time and what you need to be, what in general in your business is a priority, either for you and or your team. That's a big part of it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people too get to a certain point and they're just like, I should know better. Like, because I'm this far along, I should be better at this. So then they go internal and then they judge themselves for failing and doing these things. So it's like this thing that could be totally strategic and structural in place becomes way more of a mindset and energetic issue because of like that feeling of like judging yourself or being ashamed of where you are. So I think sometimes it's almost always like a combination of like that more strategic structural thing and like the mindset, energy, whatever, because it's, you can say what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing. And I think it varies by person a little bit, but they're absolutely related. So this thing that could have just been easily fixed if you said, okay, I know that I need to do these things in my business, but I hate doing them and I waste so much time. And then I go into a spiral and then I just don't do anything for 3 days. Like, if you can recognize that, then you need to be able to say, okay, that's not actually about me, right? That's about, I don't have this thing in place. So if I have this thing in place and I trusted myself, that's a big part. I trusted myself to actually invest in the things that I wanted, to do the things, to hire the people, to have those systems in place, then I wouldn't feel that way. And I think a lot of people aren't recognizing those connections necessarily.
Yeah. Where
you're not trusting yourself, right? So there's so many, I mean, this fuels so many different conversations, I think.
It does.
You're doing the wrong things, right? You're working with the wrong people and all of these things. Like, the more clear, it all comes back to clarity. Mm-hmm. Like, the answer for all of this really is clarity. Who is it that you want to work with? What is the outcomes that you want to provide to people? What is it that you want for yourself? It's like going back to like day one of your business kind of clarity, like why are you actually fucking doing this? Why did you start this business? And is that what you've built? Because the thing is a lot of you are making decent money already. You are successful, but you're not doing the things that you actually set out to do because you're so obsessed with the wrong things that you forget about like why you showed up in the first place. And it is to have that life, right? It is to have that work that's fulfilling, but that allows you that flexibility, that freedom. You didn't start a business just because you're like, oh, I like being kind of miserable and making mediocre money. Yeah, that's why all of us start businesses, right? No.
And I don't
the life you love.
Right. And I don't want people to then feel like it's wrong and then start down the whole judgment thing. This isn't it isn't saying wrong as far as in a judgmental way. It means wrong as far as they are the wrong activities for you. But it's okay. You don't know what you don't know sometimes. And it's very easy to get off track with the things that you focus on for very valid reasons, right? So we don't want to internalize this, that you're doing the wrong things as, oh, now, I just don't know what I'm doing and blah, blah, blah. It's not that. You do know what you're doing. You've made it this far. You've had success. Like, you do know what you're doing. However, it's very easy when you're on this journey to get pulled in different directions, either by energetics, either by not knowing and trusting yourself and making those decisions that are right for you. Not like, there's a whole host of reasons that you can get pulled off track. The key is for all of you out there, if any of this resonates, you're like, great. So what's my answer? Because I'm tired of playing this game of, but why don't I? Like, I want the answer. I want to figure it out. I want to move past this. I want to move on. Here's your answer. We're going to help you facilitate that answer.
Yeah.
The answer is really looking at your entire situation, getting back to you, getting back to what it is that's a priority for you, what it is that you want to focus on. Because too many times we're pulled in so many different directions, we forget, like Lori was saying, what the original priority, and maybe the priorities have changed. You might be in this 4, 5, 6, 10 years. Priorities may have changed in your life or in your mission, in your business, whatever the case may be. But if we don't periodically look back at that and then reassess that and then assess everything that we're doing based on those priorities, we can get off track and we can feel like we're doing all of the things, but we're not getting out of it what it is that we want. And so if you're looking for that answer, we only have a couple slots left for our retreat in Bali. This is a good way to get started on this, or you can get started tomorrow. If you want to contact us, we can start working with you tomorrow. But what we're going to do is really help you identify then what those priorities are, what it is that you want or need to focus on, and then get in touch with then how you make decisions for yourself, how you know those are the right things, how you learn to trust those decisions are right, be very confident in those decisions. And then from there, then you kind of start building out your plan and where to actually spend your time, your team's time, the direction of your business, etc. But you're not going to figure out the answer for your business until you get back to you. And so that's where it's going to start. And that's what we're going to help you facilitate. Because if you're like me, you're like, great, I can listen to all this stuff on the world. This is great. I want to figure out the answer and I want to move past this. If that is you, contact us and let us know. There's multiple options. You can either get started now. We have a phenomenal retreat in Bali. Again, there's only 2 spots left, where you literally will disconnect from everything. You really will get back to center. It's amazing place, an amazing environment to be able to do that. We're going to help you facilitate you doing that and then help you start building out your plan for 2025. So if you want to get started now or are interested in the retreat, let us know. But I know there are a lot of you in this situation. You've made it to this point, but you're like, something's missing and I don't know what it is. I've done all of these things. I've done the strategies. I've put the systems in place. I've put the structure. I have all the marketing. I have all the things, but it's still not happening for me. There's a piece missing and you want to figure out what that piece is. We're going to help you figure out the piece and then you can move on and stop the guessing game as to why. I'll end my time.
Exactly. Yeah, I think exactly what you said. And hey, just come join us in Bali. But that opportunity to really, again, whether it's in Bali, whether it's something we help you with beforehand, Maybe you can't go to Bali, but it really is, getting that clarity. And I just want to like reflect on this a little bit, because I think for myself, when people started suggesting that I needed clarity, like after I was like years into my business, making, like a couple $100,000 a year, and it's like, but no, like I'm doing it. I'm successful. I'm good at what I do. Like my clients are happy. So it felt kind of just like a bit of a like, well, no, but the more I thought about it, the more it's just like, yeah, actually, because people started to ask me questions that I realized I didn't really fully have the answers to. And it's not as a judgment. It's not, going back to what you were saying, it's not like you're doing this wrong. Like, what you're doing is wrong for you right now. And whether you're doing the wrong things, whether you're working with the wrong people, if you do not feel fulfilled, if you are not living the life that you actually desire for yourself, if you feel like you're working all the time just to make money, but you're not actually enjoying what it is you're doing, like, you can be successful and be fucking miserable. And that's not why you did this in the first place. You did not start a business to be miserable, right? Like, if you did, well, I don't understand. People, if you started a business to be miserable, just end this right now, because you're not going to be, you're not going to connect with us probably. But you did this because you had a mission, right? You had some type of goal. And if that's not what's happening for you, we're going to help you just get really clear, on what it is that's happening, why you don't have what it is that you desire. So whether it's the money, whether it's success, whether it's clients, whether it's just not feeling fucking fulfilled. And, that's what it is for a lot of you, is like, you're not actually fulfilled with what you've built for yourself right now. And we're going to help you get that clarity to realize what it is that's missing, so that you can create exactly what it is that you want for yourself, without banging your head against the wall, without having to work more, put in a bunch more effort, because that is not why you did this in the first place. You did this for a reason. And who knows, maybe we'll have beautiful little cute kitties to snuggle with.
My newest child.
But again, maybe that is part of why you did this, right? It's to have certain things, to be able to do certain things in your life. And it's really easy to get away from that, whatever it is, whether it's cats, whether it's your family, whether it's money, it doesn't matter.
Part of why I do what I do is I really love fostering kittens. I love volunteering at the local shelter. So this is our latest foster fail. He's now an official family member. However, I do this in part so that I can do this. I can be at home with them.
Yeah.
I can do what I want to do. That's a priority. And there was a time when I lost that priority.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you lose. It's very easy to just get caught up. And I think in the beginning of our businesses, there's so much excitement and like joy and curiosity that we don't get. It's more fun. And then the more you get into it, the more there is that questioning, that like judgment, that self-doubt, those little things that just start to creep in that do impact your ability to really see the sunshine through the rain, right? See the whatever through the whatever, but like to just see what it is that you're missing. Long story short, if any of the things that we say resonate with you, just message us and we'll talk about how we can help you to really move into that next level, because you do want to grow your business, you do want to make more money, and you want to actually fucking enjoy it. And that's what we're here to help you do, is to make a lot of money, to have a lot of fun in your business, and to be able to do those things alongside each other without having to sacrifice one for the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that being said, message us about Bali, or just if any of this resonates and you have questions. We like to have these conversations, but again, to just mostly raise that awareness of, you don't have to control everything. You don't have to work with people that you hate. You don't have to do things you hate in order to be successful. You can be really, really successful only doing things that feel right, and outsourcing the things that don't, and or just letting them go. And we're here to help you do that. So.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us today. Appreciate it. Look forward to having some conversations with some of you here in the future. We are going to come back in August with a couple more. These are to be scheduled here in this next week. couple more topics. If there's anything you guys want to hear discussed or want some input on, send us some messages, drop a comment below, and we'll keep those in mind for future chats. But thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.